Hey guys, what's happening? I just picked this up on Wednesday. I know I put a video out on Tuesday talking about it. I just didn't get a chance to really mess with it yet. Um, Take a look at the logo on the door there. It's a pretty cool design, ain't it? Floating air. Ain't that something? All right. So, move this out of the way. It's a very nice looking front grille, if I do say so myself. It would actually look really good right there, I kind of feel like. Although I really hate to take that Admiral out of there. I was just doing some reading on Amana units, so Amana's fresh in my mind right now. This thing is going to need the control baffle off of the other one. For some reason, they must have printed one out. I don't really know what their thought process behind it was. Also, I do believe this selector switch to be upside down, so it was definitely worked on and modified at one point. So I'm going to get the control plate off of the parts one over there, because that one, as you can tell by my other video that I did on the other two, like just a quick one, I'm going to dig more into them at a later time. I'm probably going to wait for Dave to come over on Tuesday, because that one is ungodly heavy. It's got to be 200 pounds, if not more. That being said, this one's going to need some pieces off of that, so I'm going to basically just take the control plate off that one, scan it, and make it a duplicate for the other one out there, and put the the factory correct one on here, as well as the factory correct knobs, and also rotate this switch back to its proper orientation. That being said, this is actually, I believe that to be the energy saver switch, honestly. But I'm not really, being completely honest, I'm not really sure. It might actually tell me in here. Yeah, it doesn't really, I'll figure it out. I have to play with it a little bit. I didn't really get too much time to toy around with it yet. Now, it was outside for the day, which I didn't really mean to do. It just kind of worked out like that. I did read it with the meter to make sure there's no ground, so we're going to be good to test it. Said it's big, relatively. It's got the B series compressor. It is robust. I do not see a single design flaw on this beast anywhere. Comes with the original factory brackets. I always like this freaking screen at the bottom of these. I don't really know what it's for. Ken, is that just supposed to be like a breathing hole for it? That's where the condensate drains in. So it's just a little dusty. It was mounted in a house like this, but up in the attic with the outside part dripping down into a bucket in the garage. And they had the grill removed with ductwork mounted up to here. So they had kind of like a funky installation until they got central air put in, then they stopped using it. But they obviously ripped all the ductwork out then. So this is just sitting up there. And then last year, their central air broke. So they had to move this one down and put it in the window in its proper installation. And then they took this out when they got their central air fixed. They didn't want to put it back up in the attic, and I don't blame them. It's very heavy. It's got the B series, which we are going to hear. We are. And they didn't feel like putting it back up there all the way in the air, so they left it down. Which, speaking of which, that grill there is probably the right size for this one too, if I ever wanted to change it out. But I don't know. I kind of like that. I actually like the other one a little bit better, though. The one in the last video of the other two I have, it's a little. You'll see it. Let's take a look at the outside case quick. The outside case is an awesome design. There's Jordan's Westinghouse grill. So I'm going to touch this back up white again, factory color like it was. I need to pop this Friedrich tag off. I want to paint that like that antique green, kind of like I have this Fetters out here. I think it'll... Speaking of that, I got to get that finished, putting that back together. Been thinking about doing that Friedrich logo in an antique green. That'll be the only thing that's not factory. I just felt the need to try to modify it a little bit. I think it'll look cooler. Oh, come on. All right, so it's nice looking, robust. I think the control panels in these are just a little bit plain for the era compared to some of the other ones, but that's just a very minor bitch. Although the early ones with the gyro controls, that's sexy. I like that. I like the one with the gyro controls, but I believe those are from the mid to late 60s. Also had the B series in that same outside case. So I'm thinking this one here, I got to clean off the data tag a little bit. The data tag's hiding behind here. Is it some kind of metering device? I don't know. Like this is, I think that's a thing that KB's weather wheel has. Yeah, I don't know if you can even see all the way back there or not. But it is a B series. It will have the date on there. Maybe you can see it from this video. I can't see it from here, but then again, I do have an eye injury, so by the way, the update on that is they told me it's that deep. It did heal, but the scratch and the puncture wound are that severe that it healed irregularly. So now my eye isn't completely rounded like it's supposed to be. It's always going to have that divot there. And I also have dry eye, so every morning there's a chance of me ripping it open again. So I'm on these, until further notice, on these this eye ointment I got to put in every night before bed. And I have these lubricating eye drops I got to keep putting in until further notice. So fun times, lucky me. Anyway, sob story's over. There's not really much rust damage. There's a little bit of light rust, but nothing crazy on it. Nothing crazy on it at all. Just dirty from being up in the attic. It's all like the regular dust you see in the house. And it's got my favorite plug on it. I always love that plug. Don't really know why, but it is my favorite plug. So yeah, the first thing you're gonna notice when I fire this up, and I'm not gonna ruin it, I'm just gonna fire it up. But yeah, I know I made a video a while back questioning why Friedrich was held in such a high regard. Now, I always did think the mid-70s and earlier ones were good-looking units. Not so much the late 70s and on. I kind of think they're ugly to the point where I wouldn't even buy one. Because looks matter too, in my opinion. Although the engineering might be similar, or if not just as good as the one on these. I don't know. Ken, you would be the one to ask on that. Like I said, it's heavy, it's robust, it's good looking inside and outside, and it has my favorite plug on it. So, I'm just going to plug this in. Like I said, I did verify that we are, come on, good to go on the grounds. So obviously that's off. Yeah, that is off. So theoretically, fan only should be this one. Is it? Or is that energy saver? This one's probably fan only then. These two are at the same time. Yeah, so it is upside down. Great. This one's fan only then. You hear that? Exactly. You don't. Well, you can, but barely. It's a 5-speed fan motor. Crazy, isn't it? So we proved that that's fan only. This one's straight cool. Or that one's money saver, I think. And the only way to turn money saver off. Yeah, okay. Yep. So we confirmed it is upside down. That's your energy saver button. Fan only is just fan only. You can put it like that. That turns that off because you need to have it on. All right. Ready for it? Oh, yeah. That sound never gets old. The only thing I do want to do to this unit, other than cleaning it up a little bit with Nubright, is wrapping these wires up a little here so not hitting down here. And I want to make sure that this tube down here isn't rubbing on anything. Because a B series does like to vibrate a little bit, although when properly suspended, will not make your unit a window shaker. As you can see, my side-by-side isn't really vibrating at all. The springs and rubber mounts are in perfect shape to make it run the way it's supposed to be. The B series is not supposed to be a noisy compressor. It just became that way over time because a lot of them have the mounts, you know, worn out. So, like I said, it has the original mounting brackets, the front original grill, the case. All I gotta do is get the correct knobs and put this in the correct orientation and get the bevel faceplate for that. Other than that, it is perfectly functional. And this is your ventilation feature. Completely useless. But hey. What the hell did I just... Oh, paint stick. Okay. I was wondering what I was stepping on. Keep that closed. We're good right there. Tell you what, it blows pretty evenly through all three sections. And it's cold. And it's already building condensation up. It's a little dirty. It's probably never been cleaned, but that's normal for a unit of its age. You can tell when it's on high, the compressor winds down a little bit. It sounds a little happier. I'm just concerned that the compressor is going to be that loud when it's in the case, but it shouldn't. I mean, it does sound good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that, but I'm thinking if you have that unit in its case and it's actually installed, that you're not going to hear the B series as much. You can't tell me that don't sound good. So I have a whole new level of respect for Friedrich. I can now understand where the hype comes from that so many people have over them. What we're gonna do now is, I think we built full head pressure by now. Temperature's pretty even throughout. It's blowing pretty cold, and it's very hot and humid in the garage right now. I bet it's probably late upper 70s, 80s maybe. It's not that hot, but it feels like it is because the humidity is like bad. Yeah, here we are. Finally, almost ready to start cleaning this garage up a little bit and getting it insulated. You know, drywall, or not drywall. I'm actually insulating it. I got the insulation there. I might need some more of it, and then getting some plywood put up, taking all this out and starting over. So yeah. Hitting that, but it's definitely colder than that. This thing is freezing right now. There we go, that's more like it. What kind of temps are we getting out the back? Oh, it's real hot out the back. The coils don't look too clogged. They do need a good cleaning though. Tell you what, that feels really good. Pretty efficient too. Notice this one has a data plate up here, so this is model number S122-10, 115 volts, 60 cycles, 11.8 amps, 1300 watts, 12,200 BTUs. This one's actually the older of the three, because the other ones have the EER rating on here. This one here does not. So I'm assuming they probably added that as time went on. The serial number is what? I know a lot of people are weird about the serial number, but no one's taking it. 10,178. So they made quite a bit of them, I guess. Man, that sounds good. Hey, look at that. Get any colder when you're, or warmer when you're on high? Oh. Tell you what, it puts out a nice blast of cold air. I will give it that. This is not the 12 EER version. That's okay. It doesn't have to be. It's still pretty efficient. It's like an EER of like 9 something, I believe. Still pretty good. Put out capacity like that, and that's also, keep in mind, that's also at worst possible conditions. Once this thing has room down to or cool down, or it's out of the sun, I bet you it's drawing significantly less than its nameplate rating. Although, admittedly, when I'm working on ACs or I'm picking one out or restoring one, the EER is like one of the last things I'm actually concerned about. I'm more concerned with, because you got to take them like a grain of salt, because those nameplates or ratings back in the day are rated for worst possible conditions, whereas the newer ones are rated at best at optimal performance, or even sometimes best possible conditions. So the EER thing and energy efficiency really is a great big crock of shit, if you ask me. But anyway, that being said, I love this thing. This thing's great. I gotta find a use for it. I can't let it sit. So this one here will, yep, it'll turn the fan off too. Whereas if you have it on fan and cool, it'll still run the fan. So I figured it out. So they did modify this. This thing has to get rotated. I bet you, I wonder what their thought process behind that was. Why would they have done that? Unless Ken, maybe there was a different plate for this at one point, but I kind of find that hard to believe. They probably made this here, either that or maybe they bought it used, potentially. But they made this sheet here because either the original plate got lost, or maybe they made this because they knew it wasn't right. Who the hell knows what previous owners of appliances were thinking and what their thought process was. But that thing is silent. That being said, it's powerful, quiet, very well built, neat looking. It's complete, and it has my favorite plug on it. That being said, take it easy, guys. Peace out. Have a good night. Have a safe 4th of July, and I'll get back with you guys when I get back with you. I have with Dave all day tomorrow, and Dave's coming over to me on Tuesday, so I'm sure we'll have some tidbits or some uploads for you. Till then, take care. Peace out. Comments, questions, concerns. Ken, I'm looking forward to your input on this one, because I'm sure you have something to say, and at least I hope you have something to say. I know you're a big praiser of vintage Friedrich, so that being said, hope you guys all enjoyed it, and peace out, and catch you next time. Happy 4th of July on July 2nd, early July 3rd. Whatever, you get the drift. Happy 4th of July week, people. Peace out. Take care. Catch you next time.